Hey everybody, and welcome to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit Mrs. Doubtfire, starring Robin Williams and Sally Field. So get the frock out of here and join us.
Welcome to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
Brian, you just told them to do two different things. You said to get the frock out of here and then join us. Like, what do you want them to do?
I want them to join us.
Pick a side. Pick a side. We are revisiting Mrs. Doubtfire, 1993, starring that little old... What's that actor's name? Robin something or other. One hit wonder. I'm kidding. Obviously, Robin Williams. Big hit for him. Brian.
Huge. $25 million budget. It made $440 million worldwide.
This had to be his number one hit, right?
I don't know. Probably.
I'm sure. Aladdin.
Yeah, I would say Aladdin.
But
yeah, Mrs. Doubtfire. So then we always start with then, and I liked this movie, and what I liked about it then was I thought it was like, this is. It's good. It's good. It's cute. It's funny in the right spots. It's I liked a couple of the fights with Sally Field and Robin Williams because I come from a divorced home. Not only that, but like. My parents remarried and divorced, not each other, but they each got remarried and divorced again.
You had a cross-dresser as a babysitter too, remember?
A cross-dresser?
I'm just kidding.
Oh. Oh my God. So I've seen, I've been through 4 divorces in my childhood.
Oh my goodness.
And so I remember sitting in the theater then saying you don't usually see this this level of a divorce in a Robin Williams costume comedy. Right. So that kept jolting me, maybe more than I shouldn't say the average person, but I think because I had been through divorce, I was like, oh, this feels a little real. It's a little...
You've probably never seen a realistic kind of divorce on screen.
Say, Kramer versus Kramer. I mean, but I guess my point was...
But the story revolved around divorce.
Yeah. This was surprisingly on point in some of the dialogue and stuff. So, but that final speech that Mrs. Doubtfire gives with the letter, and she's talking about parents don't love each other anymore. I remember being like, how I wish someone said that to me. When I was 8. You know what I mean?
That was really beautiful.
Yeah, and it stuck with me. And I remember when we talked about revisiting this, I was like, that is what that movie, that little closing part was where, you watch movies sometimes and you're like, oh my God, why is this affecting me right now? This is not what this... Because it is about divorce, but it's a Robin Williams movie. You know what I mean? It's about it's about different things. And but that little speech, because I think to come from a divorced home, I think you don't... your parent, and it's done even in this movie. Even then, I felt like the parents are, they're focused on their kids, but they're really, when they talk, they're focused on each other. It's a lot of it's some bitterness and resentment and trying, and so the kids in dialogue, the kids sort of take a back seat. In actions, the kids are sort of the catalyst for everything going around. You know what I mean? Going around them.
Yes.
So it was just a different kind of movie for me, and I think it made me like it even more because I was not, say, a crazy Robin Williams fan by any stretch. But yeah, that was my big takeaway with that. Then, how about you?
I don't remember the first time, as usual. I don't really remember the first time, but I remember seeing it, and I remember the feeling of being surprised at it and expecting it to be one thing, but it turned into something more. And that's probably a little bit of what you were feeling as well. You expect a certain level of craziness in a Robin Williams movie. I think even more so back then, when, was this, 93? Well, I guess it was quite far away from work. Right?
Yes,
I'm like, but I was thinking, because he was crazy. But I felt like a lot of what he did was you just expect it to be crazy over the top. You don't expect it to have as much heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was what surprised me. I remember really liking the fact that the parents did not get back together.
Yep, and that was a version they were contemplating.
Oh, really?
Because there were two screenwriters, and one really wanted them to end up back together, and I think it would have ruined.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And that I really appreciated about it. It would have felt cheap if they got back together. And it sort of set up, it surprised me. Again, it surprised me that they didn't end up together. But it surprised me in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Because it does set it up like he's becoming a better person. He's learning how to take care of himself. He's learning how to take care of others. Although I will say the learning curve was immediate. However, it is setting itself up that way, like, okay, she's going to realize it's him and realize that he is all of these things and fall back in love and blah, blah, blah. So it was really nice that they did not end up that way. And I did like it. I mean, but I do think that the ending really sealed the deal for me back then.
Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful ending.
Mm-hmm.
So really quick, just to put this in perspective, 1987, Good Morning Vietnam.
Okay.
1989, Dead Poet Society. I'm skipping certain movies. I'm not
yes.
reading them all.
No, flubber.
90 was Awakenings,
mm-hmm.
which was a big one. 91, The Fisher King. If you had told me The Fisher King came out before Mrs. Doubtfire, I don't know if I would have believed that.
I would have screamed liar in your face.
So The Fisher King.
It's surprising.
Hook, yeah,
so what's
Hook,
really...
Aladdin. This is actually Mrs. Doubtfire is after Aladdin. I think we knew that. But yeah, and then it's not till 96 is the Birdcage. 96 is the Birdcage, and when is Good Will Hunting? Good Will Hunting is 97. So there you go.
So that is very, very surprising to me in that order of movies.
Yeah.
Because when I was thinking about Mrs. Doubtfire, I was thinking it was before all of his dramatic roles. But it was actually after all of his meaty, dramatic roles.
Except Good Will Hunting, which was the Oscar, which when he won the Oscar for.
Yes.
I mean, although he's the therapist in that, so it's not necessarily like a meaty, dramatic lift.
Right, and like even in even in Good Morning Vietnam, it's a dramatic movie for sure, but he's a funny character in it.
Yeah.
Fisher King's different. So
oh my God, Fisher King.
We need to revisit
We do
Fisher
need to revisit.
King.
I haven't
We really
seen it in a long time, and that is a
Fisher
really
King was a
movie.
powerful
I remember
movie.
it being a great movie, I should say.
Agreed. So anyway, so it's kind of surprising to me that all of that happened before Mrs. Doubtfire. I'm surprised at the order, to be honest. Very surprised.
So, when did you rewatch this?
I rewatched it probably a couple weeks ago, actually.
A couple weeks. So, just a few days ago for me.
We watched it as a family.
Oh.
It was a nice family movie.
Emily had never seen it.
She had never seen it. However, so she's, Brian, you know this already, but she's a big fan of a Broadway actor, Rob McClure.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been in a couple of different Broadway plays. And Mrs. Doubtfire, the musical, was, I don't know if it actually opened. It was right on the cusp of opening, or maybe it was open for like a week before COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And he starred as Mrs. Doubtfire in it. So because of that, so we've seen a couple of musical numbers. They leaked some, musical numbers or whatever. Because of that, she wanted to see this movie anyway.
Oh, nice.
So it was really nice that we all got to, watch it together. And it was perfect. It's a great movie. Great family movie. And it was really nice revisiting it. I mean, it had a couple of, it's not a perfect movie. There's a few things.
By all means, continue.
Well, I will just say, before you give us your thoughts about now, the first scene annoyed me this time around with the petting zoo. Okay. Because it was very, very unrealistic. As a mom, first of all, I know what's available in terms of petting zoos. Mm-hmm. You don't get all those animals, I'll tell you right now. Well, it's not unattended. Yeah. It's not something that they just let petting animals in the house.
I see what you're saying, yeah.
It's very controlled.
Yeah.
You get them for about an hour, if that. Kids take turns petting the animals. It's a very unrealistic situation where a petting zoo would just like drop a bunch of animals off at the doorstep.
Barnyard,
and be like, bye.
Donkeys, geese. Like, it was all the, right? There was a family
Yes.
of geese. I'm like, no kid is dying to, like, hang out with geese on their birthday in
No,
their
it
house.
was, you pick kind of like is it barnyard animals or is it puppies?
You get
or,
a cage with, like, a bunch of guinea pigs in it and, like, stuff, right? And
Yes.
my niece had one. And it was a very small sampling.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what you get. You get a small
you get like things you can
sampling.
usually it's things you can hold.
Yes.
Or a trainer is there holding them and you touch them while the trainer is holding the
Absolutely.
animal.
You get a little picture and it's all done. And that's that. And they clean up and they never leave them unattended. There was not a person to be found that was
No.
a zookeeper or whatever.
Yeah. That is my no. It's like, okay, it's insane. It's like it's
well,
beyond,
and we know how much you love the chaos.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I will, can I say really quick? I did laugh though. There is literally a kid hanging from a chandelier. Swinging from a chandelier, and it's just like, that is the quote that, it's like, I don't want to see people hanging from the chandelier. It's like, that is literally what's happening here.
Yes.
To me, it was also just like, and I'm sorry, you weren't even done talking.
No, it's okay.
Because my big thing was, no way would you ever, how rude is that? Would you ever have a birthday party without your mom being there?
Well, was it a surprise party? Was it like a spur of the moment party? Like, that was my intention. That was my...
Yeah, he's like getting out of school. He picked him up at school. He's, Dad, you're here.
Yes.
We're going to have a party, which must be really quite the thing because every kid in town was there. How did that happen? And then Miranda, the wife, didn't know, and that's rude. He really thought it was going to be all cleaned up before she got home. It's also, why would you do that in the first place?
It doesn't make any sense.
Nope.
That whole first scene was really, really bothersome to me, and I was like, oh no, is this what's going to happen now when I'm watching this movie? Am I going to just hate...
Your middle-aged lens is...
Am I going to, hate everything? Because I'll tell you something. Mm-hmm. I wrote, oh my God, I would be so pissed. Imagine coming home and finding out that Carl had a bunch of wild animals in your house. I would be out of my mind.
So would you mean showing up while they're in my house?
Yeah.
Or just finding out after it happened?
Either way.
But that's my point. Like, what happens if this all worked out? What happens if the animals left, he cleans up, Miranda comes home, and they're like, I love how much time we're spending on this one damn scene, and we never do this. We never go scene by scene. But it's like, the kid's gonna go, oh, Mommy, you missed the horse in the living room.
Right.
Or the donkey.
Probably still smell it, though.
Yeah, the donkey just shit in the living room. But it's like, that is hurtful.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't work, even if it worked.
And even if he's a terrible husband, I still don't see him being that mindless.
Yeah, that's a good word.
That's what it seems to me, that he's mindless, that he doesn't understand the ramifications of this, that he doesn't understand this is a bad idea. I mean, even Uncle Buck wouldn't do this.
1,000%. 3 people on the dining table, including him.
Oh my God. Gosh.
Hip-hop
That's
dancing.
right.
Like, ruining the dining table. I mean, there's a party and there's like, oh, so you just want to destroy the house?
Right.
Like, and also, if you have this contentious relationship with your wife, is this the kind of party you should be having anyway, even if it worked? So, that is the first big note.
How can he afford this? He keeps losing his jobs.
Yeah.
So we would even get the money to do this in the first place.
Yeah, I know.
Unless he's using Miranda's money, which he might be doing.
So I'm going to slide in some trivia here, because you saw who the neighbor was.
Polly Holiday.
And you saw that she's like 5th billing in this movie, right? Her name appears on screen by itself.
And she's in one scene.
Yeah,
That's
she
the only
makes the
scene
phone
she's
call.
in.
She yells at the geese, and then she jumps on the phone.
Who's she sleeping with?
She was supposed to be in this movie a lot more. There are 40 minutes of cut scenes that are on the DVD.
Oh my
gosh! But Polly Holiday, who we know as Flo from the Alice show, and she was supposed to be featured a lot more. She, her scenes were all cut. Basically, what it was is she had this very bad relationship with Mrs. Doubtfire. Okay, so both what is his name? Daniel. And Mrs. Doubtfire. She didn't like Mrs. Doubtfire either. Mm-hmm. So Mrs. Doubtfire, to my understanding, was that, like, Or she did like Mrs. Doubtfire a little bit, but not much. But she kept sort of spying.
Maybe suspicious of
That's
her.
right, exactly. So Mrs. Doubtfire had concocted this big, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad they cut that.
Oh.
Where he convinces Polly Holliday's character that dog urine is great for her garden.
Oh my
And so I guess
gosh.
there's scenes of Polly Holiday pouring dog urine on her garden, and
That's
the flowers
mean.
dying. Right, and it is just mean. And I think we get that a lot of that with Pierce Brosnan. So it's like, why would you?
Yes.
Why would you put that in there?
And yeah, I mean, and aside from that one scene where he almost kills him, and I think it was accidental, sort of.
With the allergies,
With the pepper.
Yeah.
Well, but the thing is, he choked. He wasn't having an allergic reaction, which
Yes,
I remembered differently. But aside from that, I feel like most of the stuff wasn't super mean. It was more like smarmy, and you believed, he's jealous and he doesn't want this guy dating his ex-wife, right?
Yeah.
So you believed why he would do that. If he was just being mean to a
Mean,
neighbor,
yeah.
that wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah, he's being
He's
mean
not a
to
mean-spirited person.
Right, so he's being mean to a nosy neighbor. It does change the character of Mrs. Doubtfire,
Definitely.
for sure. All right,
That
so
was a good plan.
really quick though, and I know we don't ever go scene by scene, but what I did like was when Sally Field has that scene, that moment where she says, "It's over," in the kitchen, and she kind of screams it, and I was like, this is good fight acting. When there's a few scenes where they fight, and he gets this, and it feels so real to them, like that boisterous, like, oh, come on, like he does that, oh, come on.
Yes,
thing.
yes.
And it's like that, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now.
That was good.
That's very divorce. That is a very divorcey thing, because you are so conditioned to everything your spouse is going to say in a fight that you just don't even want to hear it. So you do interrupt. You do raise your voice, and in these divorce situations and all that. And it happens twice in this movie, and it's the same cadence of talking.
Sure.
Even the way Sally Field. And I was trying to find little bits of interviews and stuff, but the fighting is really good with them.
Yeah, they have some really good chemistry.
They have really good chemistry, and just the arguing feels so lived in that I'm like, there's something. I'm like, I don't know how they got this so right.
Maybe they just didn't like each other. Do you know that could happen? That they really just didn't like each other in person, and it's used it.
Well, I think it was great casting, because you never. You don't really feel like they belong together anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
You could see how she would find him charming at the
hilarious,
beginning.
Absolutely.
And really like to hang out with him.
Yeah.
But then obviously she is the responsible one, and she's the one that's doing all of the work and making the money.
Has to be.
And yes, exactly.
Yeah,
and I could see her becoming very resentful of that, and him just he's almost clueless too about, even though he must on some level see it coming, he still seems kind of clueless, like that she actually wants a divorce. Like you could see that she is so frustrated, like banging her head against the wall. She's probably had the same type of argument with him a million times.
I got the sense that sense came from, well, she's always working, and I love my kids.
Yeah.
This is functionally dysfunctional, and as long as everything keeps happening, as long as she has her job, I can keep working when I need to, working when I want to, and the kids are the kids, and they love me, and I'm going to figure this out. Because I'm like, I can see him talking himself into that thing.
Sure.
And she is working all the time. The movie's not shy about that. But I think it's like, but to me, I was like, yeah, I understand the comfort here that he has for this life.
Course.
He's very comfortable with Miranda working
very,
her ass
yes.
off.
Yes, clueless, really. Until they have this nice conversation as Mrs. Doubtfire about, and I can't remember exactly what was said, but she was having this nice conversation just about how she's never been able to spend time with her kids because she's so busy making dinner and cleaning. And there's sort of like a light bulb that goes off in Daniel's face, or Mrs. Doubtfire's face. And I like that moment a lot.
Well, she says too, and I don't know where it's somewhere in my notes, but it's like my God, I'm trying to think of what it was. Keep talking. I'm sorry.
Take your time.
No, I know. Oh my God, it was a note, and I thought I wrote it down, but I can't find it.
About the conversation that we're having?
Yeah. And, like, well, she just said she, like, didn't like being the villain. And
Yes.
like, she constantly was put in a position where she had to be, like, the grown-up and the responsible one. And,
Always, yeah.
always.
I hear that. I mean, not that.
And I imagine,
that's
like,
not like my family at all. I don't mean to say I like that. I understand where she's coming from,
No,
but that's not my
yeah.
life. There was nothing that, and this is being picky, of course.
Sure.
Because this is what we do.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of interesting that he brought it upon himself to do all of these things, like cooking and cleaning. That wasn't in the job description. Mrs. Doubtfire decided to do all this. And it seemed a little odd that Daniel would think about this on his own, where all he really wanted to do, up until this point, he was just super selfish. And he just wanted to be with his kids. So it was strange to me that all of a sudden he would become this housekeeper and disciplinarian, which he was never before, and cook and pampering Miranda. Like, it's not like he was trying to win her back.
Right.
So there was no real reason behind all
I think
that.
it was because I think my interpretation of that was because the one that stuck out to me was when he's sitting on the sofa and he's putting the kids to work, and I was like, oh, that's weird because I thought he wanted to hang out with his kids, not boss his kids around or like not give them chores,
Right?
And that seems weird because I thought it was all about hanging out. But when you think about it, really, he was so afraid of probably losing that job, then he's just completely out. Like if Mrs. Doubtfire isn't going to keep this in shape, this house in shape, then he has, like, no chance of...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that could be it.
Because she wasn't going to meaning, if the housekeepers didn't work out, Miranda was going to be like, okay, Daniel, fine. Like, that wasn't going to happen.
But I also feel like, as long as the kids were safe and taken care of, so that Miranda could still work,
yeah.
I think she would have been happy about that. Like, I don't think that she would have fired her as long as the kids were safe. She didn't have any real expectations until Mrs. Doubtfire gave her those expectations.
I guess so. Okay.
But
Maybe
it just seemed like a weird switch.
Yeah, maybe she just wanted to be, like, that amazing.
I wish the ad had said something like, help the children with the homework, cook dinner, keep the house clean. Like, if those things were in the ad, it would have made more sense. Because then it's forcing him to keep the job by doing these things. And then as a result, he becomes a better person, father, husband, whatever.
Another cut scene, because you just said homework.
Oh boy.
Lydia loses the spelling bee.
Oh.
I'm like, these are some good cuts. These were good cuts.
Oh, Lydia.
So I have the divorce scenes that I was sticking to on this, but it's like they feel real. The fighting, where when the younger kid says, "Why do you want mommy to die?" Oh my god. When he yells, "You're my goddamn kids too," which feels so real.
Yeah.
And then she repeats it, and I was like, "Oh shit, that's real too."
Yeah,
that
100%. There's definitely whoever was doing the writing on this was a parent for sure.
Yeah.
And probably was a product or was going through a divorce.
Yeah.
Don't you think? I feel like that dialogue is, like you said before, like super, super real.
I should have looked up the writer, and I don't know if it's Christopher Columbus. So Chris Columbus directed this. So I wrote, what is this? I love that the Robin... Oh, yes. So my next big note is about Robin Williams, and I wrote, I love that the Robin Williams shtick doesn't fly with the court liaison.
Yes.
And like when he's doing the
Yes.
the voiceovers and the film. So it doesn't.
That
work
was
with
a
him.
funny
Doesn't
scene.
work with her. Doesn't work with the film reel guy when he goes and he's trying to make them laugh and him laugh. And it doesn't work with even his job because he gets fired. So anytime he's trying to be the shticky Robin Williams thing, it's not.
I
working.
love that too.
The only time it does, and I actually think it's one of the weaker scenes, is when he's doing the dinosaur stuff. And I'm like, that's not... Did you laugh?
I did not like that scene at all. I don't know
It went on way too long. It's awkward.
Yeah, I don't know who would have hired him based on
that. I completely agree.
I would not have
agree.
hired that person based on it. I mean, aside from the fact that it was 100% opposite of what the other guy did. I mean, that's the only thing he had going for him. But yeah, I thought it was terrible. I wish they had at least shortened that scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah, terrible.
And I did laugh, jumping really all over.
No, that's okay.
But when they bring him back, the original dinosaur teacher,
as the mailman,
Mr. Sprinkles, Mr. Jingles, what is it?
Something like that. Yeah.
And he's like, "Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire." Oh my god, I laugh every time when he calls her Mrs. Doubtfire.
So funny.
Random note: Sally Field. I had an issue with her look.
Interesting.
She is supposed to be a interior designer, a very successful one, and she consistently is a cardigan wearing Sally Field.
Now, does she do that throughout the whole movie? I felt like she lightened up a little bit as she started to date Pierce Brosnan.
Well, and she's starting to Pierce Brosnan. She's dressing more like sexy and stylish, but her job is about fashion and looks and appearances. And even when she's in the office, I'm like, this is not like something. So, like, I mean, a million years ago, I worked in the interior design world, and you had people. I mean, there's usually a certain look about them.
Sure.
And to be in San Francisco and to having to charm certain types of people, she just didn't. She kind of lacked an artsiness about her. In her
a little bit
style,
dowdy,
a little dowdy, and a little clumsy. Like that things that may have worked for a movie, but maybe not necessarily worked for her character. And I just wish she looked a little harder.
I think they probably did that on purpose because you don't want her to look like she's happily not spending time with her children.
Fair.
It would have been a better move maybe to put her in a different profession. Because I do agree with you. If you're in an artsy kind of profession, you're going to be living that look.
Yeah. Even if she was just all in black and had like more of a tighter
just
haircut. But she really just looked like Sally Field going to like I don't even know. For a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
a cup of coffee with the kids. So, it's a minor note. I did like this fight, or this, not even fight, it's more banter, when she comes pick the kids up, and he wants to see the ad, and he's like, "Let me see the ad," and she's like, "Fine. Ugh, anything else you want to see?" And he goes, "You offering?" And she goes, "Not anymore." It was so funny, and it's like this. It's like,
It's nice, too, because you get the sense that they used to be friends.
And that they used to be able to make each other laugh.
Yes.
And that they had that kind of back and forth.
And now that they're separated, a little bit of that is coming back.
Yes.
I liked that, too.
Yeah.
It was very, very quick and very subtle. Yeah, and I don't know if that was... I mean, it must have been a direction or something, but it seemed very natural, too.
Yes.
So I wonder if any of that was a little bit...
This is what I'm saying.
It maybe improvised a little bit.
Well, we talked about with The Princess Bride how Billy Crystal and Carol Kane spent like hours and hours and hours and hours like developing these characters for like their 5 minutes on screen.
Yes.
Like there is something with their acting that feels so, and I'm just repeating myself, but they just do a really good job of it.
Yes, they
really
do.
Great fighting.
Yes, they really, really do. So they hire her. I have a bunch of weird notes that I can't understand what I'm saying.
Maybe I can help
gone. You. That happened on your birthday. Oh! This is just the beginning of the movie when she ends up saying, "I want you a divorce" on this little child's birthday.
Oh, that.
I noticed that, but.
Yeah.
And then we meet Harry Feinstein's character, who's pretty funny, I think. He reminded me of Nathan Lane and Frankie and Johnny.
Totally.
Right? Even like the Huck Finn character, like with them, is kind of similar.
Robin Williams did not know the words to, what is it, Don't Rain on My Parade? When he's with all that. It is funny, the movies we're watching and the callbacks, whether it's actors or scenes or, because Robin Williams at one point has the Barbra Streisand wig on with the nose and all the makeup. And they're like, "Oh, you should sing Don't Rain on My Parade." Ugh. And Robin Williams didn't know the words, so Harvey Feinstein had to help him learn the words.
That's pretty funny. I did like that whole makeover thing. Usually I'm not a big fan of makeover
like
scenes.
The montagey
stuff, thing.
Yeah.
I liked it. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
But I liked the fact that they didn't just come up with, okay, let's do an old lady. Do you know what I mean? Like, they kind of had to, like, do a couple of different things.
But...
And then came up with what?
So, I'm going to respectfully disagree.
Yes, go ahead.
Not that I didn't like the scene. It just didn't make any sense. Because she already did the voice for Mrs. Doubtfire.
He did?
Yeah, because she was like, oh, dear.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Didn't I say my name, dear? And so he had a character established.
I forgot about that part.
He's like,
yes,
make me a woman. Because he knew he had to be a woman. And he's like, oh. And so, yeah, but it's like, so a lot of those crazy ones didn't make sense because it would never be Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, that's right.
But really quick, I have to say this. Those fake phone calls, when he's like, I am Job. And she's like, hello, I am Job.
I forgot about those too. I forgot about the phone calls because that made it so much better to know that she had a bunch of rejects.
Oh my god! And really good voices.
Yes, really good voices.
That was really funny, and I think it's because he's playing off of Sally Field and her reactions, and like. There's one that didn't age well where it's like I used to be a man, and she's like yikes, and that didn't age well. But the other one where he says. I hope it's okay, but I believe in just a few light slams when the kids get out of line. It's like, click. A few light slams.
Yes, very, very fun. That was great. Yes, I really liked that too. I actually wrote that. I used to be a boy. Yikes.
Yeah.
That wasn't good. There was another point, actually, after when the kids find out that didn't really age that well either.
He's a he, she. A she, she. She's a she, she.
He goes, call 911. He's half man, half woman.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that probably would be cut today.
And it also would be against the law.
I know. It's like, I mean, I get it. It wasn't something that people talked about so much, but I'm not sure that's the reaction. I mean, I would have just assumed.
When they bonded.
I would have assumed it was just a man dressed up as a woman.
I mean, to be a kid, yeah, I'm sure that was, like, is scary, but... I mean, I don't know if you'd like start. I mean, I don't know how kids react, but I think it's a reaction that did not age well.
Yeah, I did feel like when he was like, "You can't tell mom," that was really putting the kids in a bad position. Like, not the best parenting move.
No, I know.
I mean, I think maybe it would have been better if they were like, "We won't tell. We just want you to stay."
Yeah.
Something on that idea would have made him a little bit more redeeming in that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good correction. I do like a lot of the scenes where Sally gets to be a little funny when she's talking about Daniel in front of Mrs. Doubtfire, in front of the kids, and Mrs. Doubtfire says, "Maybe have the children leave the room, dear, before you verbally bash their father." And Sally Field says, "Well, if I did that, I'd never see them again." And then she laughs at her own joke, and everyone else just looks at her.
Yeah, that was good. I really like that.
That is good.
I love the conversations with Miranda and Mrs. Doubtfire, actually. When she's talking about Winston and how he died.
Do you remember his idea of foreplay?
Oh, it was...
Winston's idea of foreplay was, Effie, brace yourself. Oh my god!
So funny.
When they're at the pool and she says, Mrs. Doubtfire, don't you want to slip into your bathing suit? She's like, oh no dear, they've outlawed whaling.
Yeah. Really funny lines. This is when she had that conversation, actually, when they were talking about the marriage and the husbands, and she just said, it was just nice. She said, I didn't like who I was when I was with him. That was really, really nice.
Yeah, because she was...
because he never liked to talk. She said he never liked to talk about anything serious.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah. Always picking up the pieces. She was always the villain. Another really funny one. Mrs. Doubtfire. As I hold this cold meat, I'm reminded of my dear Winston. God rest his soul.
Oh my god. She talks about how he dies, and he's like, he got hit by a Guinness truck.
It was the drink that killed him.
Literally, the drink that killed him. You do a better impersonation.
Really quick, that scene, and it is really nice, and I agree, where they're sharing stuff, Mrs. Doubtfire and Miranda. But pay attention to that scene if you guys rewatch Mrs. Doubtfire. It is the fastest cup of tea ever.
Oh gosh!
It doesn't even boil. I mean, it's like I don't even know if there's. I don't think It's just
and I'm a tea drinker. You would have thought I would have recognized that.
If it's on again, check it out. It's
Maybe
pretty
I will.
interesting.
Maybe
It's like, I wrote, did it even boil? Where are the tea bags? Was there sugar? Like, it's just it's
cup
super
of hot
random.
water.
Yeah.
Cup of cold water.
I love when she says, don't fuss with me.
Mm.
There's a couple almost F words. Because with the
Yes.
frock line, too, it's very, very funny.
Yes, it is very, very funny. He did a nice job with all that.
By the way, I think I said the outlawed wailing line wrong, but it was funny. I said it wrong, though.
But it was, and you did
It
a
was-
nice
it was
impersonation.
Oh, okay. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So the restaurant scene. So what do you think, actually? Let's talk about Pierce Brosnan. Did you like him in this?
I thought he was good because he seemed like he was in a different movie, and I think it worked.
Yes,
because
agreed.
he was in I'm dating a married woman. I'm dating a single mom movie, and I think that was really smart. It was played very as if Mrs. Because honestly, he played it right. Like, Mrs. Doubtfire is not a thing to him.
Right.
Like, she's just like the housekeeper. And why
not.
is the housekeeper being so rude to me?
Right.
Like, he's not in on the joke, and I think his performance is like great.
And he's trying to be polite to her.
Yeah.
He's trying to, go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that the insults fly, it's very under his breath. So he's always has that look, like that confused, like, am I supposed to be insulted by this?
Right.
Is he insulting me? Or she?
Well, when he gets out of the pool and she's like, "Oh, from the look of things, that water must be absolutely freezing." and he says, "Yes," and he realizes like what she means.
Yeah.
And it's very funny.
Yeah, it is funny that he's still trying to be polite, and because in his opinion, it's an old lady. So even if she is
That's right.
insulting, he still should be respectful.
The same with Sally Field. She's Mrs. Duffer is insulting Pierce Brosnan in playful ways, but at the end of the day, she knows she's just looking out for me.
Yes.
Because she thinks it's too soon.
Yes.
So it all works.
Just that whole getting ready for the date with the dresses.
Yeah. Well, that's the
almost-
frock.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
it's-
God, the streetwalker. All kinds
it doesn't
of
mean
comments.
you need to look. I mean, he does it so well. I wish I could write them all down, but yeah, it doesn't mean you should be giving it all away. You shouldn't.
Why buy the cow when you
should
get the milk for free, dear?
You shouldn't be. Yeah, whatever. All that stuff. Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
Well, how about and then at the restaurant? You brought up the restaurant. She's talking to Mrs. Doubtfire is talking to Pierce Brosnan. And she's like, "You should know, dear. She's got a power tool in the bedroom, dear. I'm surprised she hasn't chipped a tooth." And then Carpe Dentum sees the teeth, which is like a callback to Dead Poets Society.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Yeah, really good. I thought the restaurant was obviously very unbelievable. Just them going and changing and all that
You
stuff.
mentioned not liking montagey things. Those are the scenes I don't like because, particularly here, because we already saw the challenge with Mrs. Selzner.
Yes.
It's almost the same thing.
Yes.
There are high stakes. He has to be in two places. The whole thing. And also, the Mrs. Selzner thing is really unfortunate when this is the liaison that goes to visit him. Because you mean to tell me Mrs. Selzner would talk to Sally Field's character about a woman he's
Right.
Sorry. The woman is living with him. She's telling him everything in Mrs. Doubtfire except that she has an accent. Wouldn't that be the first thing? It's like, his British cousin is visiting.
Yes, it's very
That's the
strange.
first thing you would say. Because where is she visiting from? That was the whole point. Oh, she has a thick, British accent.
Well, here's the other thing. She tells Sally Field about this, his sister. Sally Field says he doesn't have a sister. So now the court liaison...
Oh, shit. Okay, yeah.
She's supposed to be seeing if this man is
stable.
living stably in a suitable environment, and he has some woman staying with him that's not his sister, and he's lying. I don't know. I just felt like maybe that wasn't a good thing to put in. Maybe that could have been cut too.
Yeah. It was just bad all around. Because I think it actually opened more cans of worms. It didn't make it. I mean, because there are the issues with the scene itself, and there's the issues as a viewer where you're like, wait, well then a lot of this is blown, and she's not understanding, gee, why can't I see both of them at the same time? And dropping the gross face mask.
So I had heard somewhere that was a mistake.
And they left it
The
in.
dropping of the face, the whipped cream into the tea was a mistake because it was like so hot. Like the lights were so hot, it was like melting off his face. And he just like went with it and they kept it in.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought I didn't care for that scene. I think it just created problems for that.
I didn't think it was necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's fine. And then the face gets run over.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seemed like a lot.
Yes. Why would you ever keep the head, like your mask, at the edge of a windowsill anyway?
Right.
I mean, really, of all the places.
And I'm not sure why. Like, why wouldn't he just not be home?
No, there was a standing appointment, Monday and Friday evenings.
But, so she shows up and Mrs. Doubtfire is already in the apartment? No, she's coming home.
She's first. So the liaison is, Mrs. Doubtfire was walking up to the door and Mrs. Zelsner walks right up to her.
I see.
So it was the
So he forgot about the appointment.
Yes.
And then he didn't want to cancel it.
Right.
Got it.
Let's see. One interesting thing, and I don't know if this is a good or a bad thing, but I'll let you decide, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Sally Field, some of her dialogue is distractingly grammatically correct. Like, and I think that's obviously a choice, but like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about who did what to whom. No one says that.
I think they're trying to make her seem like the smarter person.
Absolutely. Then she says, and this made me laugh, and I remembered this. It annoyed me in 1993. It annoyed me now. And she says, she's talking to the kids, and she says, no more no more supervised visits, no more liaison. Like that's how she's like.
I hate that.
No one, don't pronounce
no
it.
One says
don't
that.
say it. You're not standing in line saying 2 tickets to dangerous liaison. Like you'd be stupid. Like, and especially you're talking to your children. You don't have to pronounce words in like the French pronunciation of French words.
Right.
We're Americans, for God's sake.
Right.
Sound stupid. And when in the beginning when she says, "I am not the heavy," no one says that anymore.
No.
Just say I'm not the bad guy. Say I'm not the bad guy here.
I'm not the bad guy. Yeah. Definitely.
But yeah, that was to establish her sophistication.
Yes.
Take it or leave it. I would prefer to leave it. Quite frankly.
That's a good thought. Good thought to leave it out. I'm trying to think. Do you want to take a break?
Let's.
All right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Hey there, it's Brian and Christina. We just wanted to take this break to thank you for listening to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pulp culture through a middle-aged lens. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there.
And if you have any questions, comments, or observations, shoot us an email at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. Thanks for listening, and now, back to the show. And we're back talking about Mrs. Doubtfire. Christina, any final thoughts before we get to our questions?
I don't have a ton of notes left, but I would say I did like the end. I thought the end was cute, like the little twist with him getting the show, although unbelievable. I don't think that would happen today, but it seemed cute. It was cute.
To me, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a throwback to like Mr. Rogers, like with her being an old woman and just being very calm and a calming presence. Also, I completely wrote this down. I forgot. So Leslie Dixon co-wrote the script.
Oh, did you just say you weren't sure? Yeah.
I wasn't sure. Because it's a trivia. It's a note I had for later. And it's like, but what's important to know is that she also wrote, or at least co-wrote, Overboard and Outrageous Fortune.
No kidding.
Go Leslie Dixon.
That's pretty cool.
Robin Williams, 4.5 hours to do the Mrs. Doubtfire makeup.
Oh my gosh.
I did laugh when he said, during that episode of the TV show, he says, "Ooh, who's at the door? And do we have enough time?" It won an Oscar for makeup. It won a Golden Globe for Best Picture, Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy. It won the MTV Movie Award for Male Actor and Best Male Comedic Performance.
Wow.
Or rather, sorry, Best Comedic Performance, I think, overall. That's my notes.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Did you like it better? The same?
I did. Because it just, more kind of jumped out to me with, like, the central relationship. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, just certain things I found very, very, very funny. And I think because there are, like, kids involved, that the stakes are a little higher than I think maybe I realized in 93.
Right.
So I really liked it a lot.
And, I forget who the oldest daughter was, but, was it Maura Wilson? That was the
little daughter.
The little girl.
Is it Mara?
Mara Wilson, who was also Matilda.
Yeah.
And, Joey Lawrence's brother, Matthew Lawrence.
Yeah. So Lydia, and I apologize, I didn't write the actress's name down. She got expelled from school for because she was in this movie. So I guess
because she was in this movie.
She got expelled during the movie. Okay. They had asked, and it kept running. I guess the production was running longer or something. And she's like, "Well, I can't. I'd rather do the movie." And
I don't blame her.
I would have done it too.
Once in a lifetime situation.
Right? Who would not do that? So she got expelled. Just go to a different. Expelled. You can't go back to the school, right? You just have to go to a different school.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I've never been expelled.
But
you tell me, Brian.
I've never been expelled either. And
you know an awful lot about it.
I support her decision.
I do too.
Okay. Questions?
And yes, I liked it better. Thank you for asking.
You said I said it, and you said me too.
All right, whatever.
What did you? What?
No, I did like it better. Although I did, but there was also some middle-aged Len stuff that just was just like chaotic thing at the beginning.
Sure.
And stuff like that kind of irked me a little bit. Like I felt like they could have done a little bit better. But aside from that, I liked it better. Yeah. And it was funny. It's nice to relax on things like this because you know how it's going to end. You know what's coming up, and you can kind of just like sit back and relax and just like soak in the scene. So I enjoyed that. All right, I have a question. It's not my strongest, but
that's okay.
It's something. So Mrs. Doubtfire's new show, the dinosaur show, is so popular it's getting a spin-off.
That's exciting.
It is. It's called Blank with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay. So it's a true match game.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see.
Oh, I just came up with something good.
Oh my god, that's actually a really good question. There's a million answers.
I think I have a unique one. I mean, I should probably try to... You're
trying to match.
I know, but it just came
Don't go... Why would you be unique, Christina?
I'm doing a Joel McHale. That's how he does his...
Oh my god.
He uses the worst answers. No, you might get this.
Okay. Alright, so blank... what is it? Blank with...
It's a new show. It's called Blank with Mrs. Doubtfire.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I go first or
you
go
can
first?
go first.
Okay. I have getting ready with Mrs. Doubtfire or getting dressed.
That's not bad. Okay. That's not bad.
Because it would be kind of funny.
I was thinking frocking.
Yeah.
With Mrs. Doubtfire, but I didn't write that down. I wrote puppets with Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's
or
cute.
little puppets or something. Yeah. We didn't even talk about that. How she... No, my little puppets. Puppets with Mrs. Doubtfire. And that could be another children's show. Almost like it's kind of like puppets, but it's really like puppets.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, not puppets. Puppets.
Puppets.
Super
I don't
cute.
know. It's a little strange. I'm sorry I didn't try to match.
Yay, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Do you have an FMK?
Oh, my God.
You are really getting bad at this, Brian.
Why do I forget?
This is like more than a middle-aged lens. This is like an old lens.
Oh, my God.
You forget. Almost every episode, there's like...
We
both forgot. What episode were we... Oh, I just dropped the pen. Stupid pen. It breaks every episode.
Maybe
over. I should get a new...
It's over!
We always forget. What was that episode we were in? We both forgot. We're like, okay, let's go. And we're like, wait, the questions!
Oh my God, I don't even remember.
That's funny.
I do love that final little argument they have, Sally and Robin. When she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. They're on the set of Mrs. Doubtfire. And he again does that. He's like, come on, you left me out to dry. Blah,
yeah, that was a good
my God, awful.
Really good fight.
Good fight. Okay, FMK.
Okay.
Daniel, played by Robin Williams, Pierce Brosnan, played by Pierce Brosnan, and Harvey Feinstein.
Ooh, okay.
Of course, the Harvey Feinstein character.
Yes. All the characters, right?
Yeah, they're all characters, yeah.
All right, I think...
I think I got this right.
You've been really not great with these lately, Brian. I have to tell you. All right, I think I'm going to kill Harvey. Mm-hmm. He has a smile on his face. I'm torn. Okay, I'm going to say... I think I'm going to marry Stuart, who's Pierce Brosnan.
Yay! Yay!
Yeah, he didn't make a great husband, that Daniel.
No.
He might be better now that he's learned some things.
There's a big difference between being a great, father and a great husband, for sure.
True.
It's a balance.
But he was don't you think he was kind of learning how to be a good husband?
Well, was he?
Taking a lot off her plate.
Sure, but remember,
listening.
Christina, there were scenes where Mrs. Doubtfire was checking out women, flirting with a woman at the bar. Yeah.
That was really funny.
That was funny. That was a little disturbing.
Very disturbing.
So crazy when he threw the lime at Pierce Brosnan's head.
Oh my gosh!
Is that how? Was that special effects?
It was a drive-by fruiting.
Good stuff.
Very good stuff.
And that is it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe to Old Roommates on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and wherever you listen to podcasts. And give us a rating or review while you're there, please.
If you have an idea for the show or a suggestion or comment, you can email us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Old Roommates. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
Thanks again for listening. Until next time.